let's get into these 30 tips and advice. And they are not in any particular order. They're just random, and I've taken notes. So if I'm looking down, I just want to make sure I stay on track with 30 tips and advice. All right. So number one, know your budget and know how much that mortgage is going to cost you before you even start shopping for houses. Once you get your pre-approval amount, I need you to ask specifically your loan officer, sir, ma'am, how much is this going to cost me per month? Let's say you're pre-approved for $250,000. Sir, ma'am, how much is the monthly payment for $250,000? You want to know the principal, the interest, the taxes, and the insurance. All of those 4 items are comprised into one payment. And sometimes you may have even mortgage insurance, but you want the total payment amount. Sometimes buyers will get the approval letter of a $250,000 and they hit the street, they're ready to shop, they fall in love with houses in their price range, only to discover $250,000 costs more than what they anticipated. So it is very important. And I always go behind my clients and ask the loan officer myself as the realtor, how much is this payment going to cost my client? Because I don't want to show them houses that they feel uncomfortable with the mortgage payment. Keep that in mind. You are not buying the house, you're buying the monthly payment. Keep that in mind. So you may feel comfortable with the $250,000 payment once you've talked to the loan officer. But what if you're not? What if you get out here and you find out that $250,000 costs more than what you thought it would cost? Now you're in love with houses in that price point and you don't feel comfortable maxing out at $250,000. In reality, you may only be comfortable at $180,000. So it's very important to get the amount of how much that payment is going to be for that pre-approved amount that you have received from your loan officer. So know your budget and know how much that payment is going to cost you. Tip number 2, avoid new debt before applying. Okay, so you don't need to go out and get a car loan. You've probably heard this one before many times, but sometimes this still trips buyers up. They feel like I gotta get a car right now, or I gotta get a car to match the house. I remember when my car had problems and I had to get another car, and it was before I purchased a home, and I needed to get back and forth to work, and I wasn't thinking, or maybe I was just ignorant and didn't know that purchasing a car first would really severely impact how much my pre-approval amount would be. And it did. It was way lower than what it could have been, but I needed a car. But here is what I'm saying to you. If the car can wait, please let the car wait. Go ahead and get your home first and then close on it first. Don't just go and get pre-approved and then go buy the house. No, I'm saying get pre-approved, purchase the house, close on the house, get the keys in your hands to that house, then go to the car dealership, okay? Don't do it out of order. No big purchases when you know that you're getting ready to buy a home. You want to keep your debt to income ratio as low as possible, okay? Number 3, look for properties below your max budget. Okay, this is important because, again, you don't want to make yourself house poor, and you only want to look at homes that you've been pre-approved to buy. So for instance, if you've been pre-approved for $250,000, don't ask your realtor to show you houses that are $275,000. That's not going to work. A seller is not going to come down an additional $25,000 just because that's what you want them to do. And then your lender is not going to approve you for $25,000 more just because that's what you want to do. So stick within your budget. The budget is there for a reason. Your lender has pulled all of your numbers, and this is what they say you can safely afford in relation to all the other debts that you currently have before you even acquire the mortgage. So stay within your budget. Know what you can afford, okay? You need to only look at properties that are in your approved amount. Number 4, think long-term investment. If you plan to move in a few years and you need to consider your resale value and rental options, just look to the future. Most first-time buyers stay in a home 3 to 5 years max. Now, I realize that this video is for older home buyers. So you may be looking at the forever home. You may be looking at the dream home. but you never know what life will bring you. So still make sure, even if this is the forever home, make sure that it's a home that still has good resale value, that still can produce rental income should you need to move. You may get married again. You may, decide to trade up and move on, even though you are 40, 45, 50, 55. You may move into your spouse's house, and you may keep this house as a rental that you're purchasing. You just want to make sure that you buy the right type of home. Make sure that it has desirability for resale should you need to sell it. Life brings us so many changes, so many opportunities come our way. You may get a better job or promotion, You just want to be able to do something with that piece of real estate should your life change, okay? So think long term when you're out here looking at the homes. Number 5, I need for you to hire a real estate agent that specializes in working with first-time buyers. There are tons of realtors to choose from. We are just everywhere in every state. There are realtors everywhere. So I actually want you to hire your realtor first before you apply for the home loan, because your realtor is going to be an excellent resource, and guide for you during the entire process from start to finish. They know the lenders, they know the best companies and banks that offer the lowest fees and the best first-time homebuyer programs. So you want to start out right hiring a really great real estate agent, and you want someone who has the patience and the empathy and the kind-heartedness to work with the first-time buyer that may even be older. Now, nothing is wrong with you. I'm just saying, because you're buying home older, nothing is wrong with that, because I love working with older buyers. They are focused and they are excited. They are not so spoiled because you've lived a little bit of life. So you know what you're looking for. You're decisive and you're easy to work with most times. So you want to have a realtor that can match your flow, match your vibe, your personality, because you're going to be spending a considerable amount of time in person and over the phone via email, text, working with your realtor until you get the keys in your hands. So you just want to hire somebody who specializes in first-time home buyers, that know the first-time home buyer programs, that can get you the best deal possible once you get out here and start buying your home. Number 6, you need to plan for future needs. So I want you to think about your family growth, this space that you need. Since the pandemic, many people did not go back into the work office. Many people work from home. So that may be something that you need to look for in the new house. You may need a dedicated office space or an extra bedroom that you can turn into an office space. If you have children that are small or younger, or you have grandchildren and you want them to be in the backyard, or you like to cook out, or you like to host, you need to have a house that has a backyard. I tell clients all the time who have children or who have grandchildren, we can look at houses, but I'm not going to be happy showing you a house that does not have a backyard and I'm looking at these babies that you have. They deserve to have a backyard and a place to play. So you need to know what your future needs will be. You may need more space because your aging parents may have to come live with you, or you may be looking at adoption or adding a family member to come and stay. Just whatever the case, I want you to pay attention to your future needs. Try to anticipate what you'll need. If your kids are almost empty nesters and they'll be moving on soon, then you may not need a 5-bedroom house anymore. That may be overkill for you now, because now it's just you, or it's just you and your spouse, and you really just need a 3-bedroom home versus a 5-bedroom home. So just plan for your future needs. You don't want to buy too small and you don't want to buy too large. Look at what you see going forward in the future that's really going to makes the most sense for your home purchase. Okay. I've had many clients try to buy a house way too big, and it's just wasted space, wasted utility costs. It's just too much. So make sure you plan for your future needs. Number 7, don't skip the home inspection. Now, home inspections are generally optional, but they are not an option. You hear me? They are optional, but they are not an option. I want you to make sure that once you make an offer on a home, that you do have a home inspection performed. That is to protect you and your investment. This is a big deal. This is not time to hold back and say, well, the house is pretty, it's been updated, or it's brand new. Why should I get a home inspection because it's brand new? Listen, brand new construction is built by man. And men make mistakes. So nothing is perfect. There could be wiring wrong or plumbing wrong or something installed improperly on a brand new construction. So you still need to get a home inspection, and that is going to give you a peace of mind in the property that you're purchasing. So who would spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and not have it properly inspected? Inspections usually cost $350 to maybe $500 depending on where you live. So set that money to the side so that you can easily pay the inspector once that time comes. The inspection is going to check the roof, the heating, the air, the plumbing, the electrical, windows, appliances, flooring. They're going to check everything from top to bottom that they can visibly see, not visually, that they can visibly see. Your home inspector is going to take care of all those things. And then they're going to bring to your attention any areas that need improvement or that need repair. And if you decide that the home has too many issues and too much work has to be done, if you need to avoid that money pit, then your realtor will terminate your contract based on an unsatisfactory home inspection and then get you out of it altogether. And then you guys will start over and shop for a new home. Or in this scenario, you may choose to have the seller make those repairs, or you may negotiate on a lower price. But either way, I need you to make sure that you get a home inspection. Number 8, you need to stay flexible with your must-haves. Okay, so if you must have a 3-bedroom, then you got to have it. If you need 2 bathrooms because you have a couple of teenage kids and you don't want to share your personal bathroom, then that's a must-have. If you have children or grandchildren that need to be in the backyard, if you have a dog, then a backyard is a must-have. There are certain things that are must-haves. So make sure that you try your best not to compromise on the things that matter the most. I've had buyers go into houses that they try to make fit into the must-have list. Like, well, we can knock this wall out, or we can add a bathroom here, or we can add a room on the back. You're not going to do any of that as a first-time buyer. You're not going to knock down any walls. You're not going to add a bathroom. You're not going to build on to the master suite in the back. You're not going to do that. So don't even go there. Make sure you choose a home that meets your needs. It's important because most times you're not going to be able to change the dynamics, the cosmetic dynamics, the layout of a particular home. You can change cosmetic things, but you are not likely going to add a bathroom. You're not likely going to add on an extra master bedroom. So just keep that in mind. The house needs to have what it needs to have. And if it does not already have that, then walk away until you can find a home that meets your needs without much compromise in your must-haves. Number 9, look beyond cosmetic flaws. Okay, so let's say you find a house that's great. It has the bedrooms you need, the number of bathrooms you need. It has a beautiful level backyard lined with trees, and you just really, really like the space. But let's say the cabinets are old, or it has paneling on the walls, or maybe even wallpaper, or it has carpet and you don't want that because of allergies. You can overlook some cosmetic flaws in order to get the neighborhood you want, in order to get the square footage that you want, in order to get the layout that you need. Those things are really important. You can always, once you're in the house, you can always make those changes. Cosmetic things can always be done at a future date. That's paint, that's carpet, that's flooring, that's fixtures, all those. You can pretty up any type of house. It doesn't matter how big or how small. Any house can be made beautiful over time with you putting your sweat equity into it. Okay? Number 10, don't be pressured by family or friends. You got to choose a house that feels right for you. I've had so many times where buyers, they bring along too many family members, or they bring along people that talk too much, or people that confuse them, or people that are negative. You don't need to be pressured by your family and friends. You need to know what you want. You need to know what you're looking for. And then you need to communicate that specifically with your realtor. When I'm with clients and they bring family members, I welcome family members to come. I have no problem with you bringing someone that you feel will be instrumental in helping you make this important decision. However, when I'm talking to my client. I'm talking to my client. I'm not talking to my client and their cousin and their aunt and their best friend and their uncle and their baby brother. I'm talking to the person that is signing their name to make this home theirs. That's whose opinion matters most. Now, we can welcome all the feedback in the world, and I trust that you will talk to your people one-on-one, but don't let anybody pressure you and tell you, well, you need to get this one or you need to stay away from that one. You have to do what feels right for you. And once you walk into that front door and you take a tour of that house, it's going to be in your heart. You're going to feel it. I promise you. It's just going to be this peace and calm that comes over you. And you're going to know that that one is the one. You will know when you found the it house. And it doesn't matter what your friends or family say, you will know. It's an inner feeling that you get. Number 11, I need you to avoid the new home buyer splurge. So once you get your house, that doesn't mean go out and run up the Best Buy card, run up the furniture card, run up all of the cards you can think of because you're trying to furnish the home right away. Give yourself some time. It takes time to furnish a home. It can take a year to get your home the way you really want it. And that's okay. You're in there. You just need to get in there. Do not go out and max out your credit cards and store credit to get the house furnished right away because you're trying to impress or you're trying to be on some type of level. This is not that. We're too old for that. You do things on your own terms, on your own time, and you don't want to create a lot of debt because remember, you just took on a new mortgage payment. And that is a serious undertaking. And you want to make sure that you can comfortably make your payments on time every month. So there's no need to rush. Avoid splurging as soon as you first get your house, okay? Number 12, beware of overbidding. Okay, so we are in a market at the time of this video where things have cooled down some. When we were in the height of COVID, bidding wars were off the chain. It was maddening. And it was ridiculous how much people were willing to pay over the asking price. Well, now this video is 2024 and we're going into 2025. And I'm not sure what the market will actually be, but if things remain the same, then you don't have to overbid for homes because you don't have as much competition. So I'm not saying that you won't find yourself in a bidding war, but what I am saying, if you do, then only bid up to where you're comfortable. If you say, I'm comfortable going 5,000 over, but that's it, stick to 5,000 over. If it's 10,000, stick to 10. Know your number. Don't get out here and get emotional and try to win and compete with somebody else because you don't know what that other buyer has. You don't, they could be paying with all cash. You don't know. So, and you may be paying with all cash, but you don't want to give all your cash away. So just stick to your number and don't get caught up in overbidding. Sometimes you have to respectfully walk away. Number 13, it kind of goes along with number 12. Avoid emotional attachments to a home. Be prepared to walk away. If it doesn't sit right in your spirit, then walk away. If the price is too high, if you're dealing with an unreasonable seller that only wants what they want and they don't want to compromise, transactions are a meeting of the minds between both parties. The seller has to be happy and the buyer has to be happy. And you got to find a way to come to the middle so both parties can be happy. And if you have one over here and one over here and you can't bring it together, then don't do it because you don't want to feel taken advantage of in the deal. So there are times when you have to just swallow your love for a particular property and you have to move on and you have to walk away. But trust your instincts and trust your gut. If something feels off or you feel pressured or you feel like you're being taken advantage of or pushed into a situation where it doesn't feel right, then walk away. Number 14, I need you to keep all your documents organized. This is so important. So many people think buying a home is hard, and it's not hard. It's easy when you have your stuff organized. It's only hard when you don't know where your W-2s are. You don't know how to get your hands on your bank statements. You don't know where your tax returns are. It's hard to find your pay stubs. All you have to do before you even fill out the loan application is just take a day and start pulling your documents together. Pull together the things that you know the lender is going to ask you for. They're going to ask for your W-2s. They're going to ask for 2 years of tax returns. They're going to ask for your last 2 bank statements. They're going to ask for your social security card, your driver's license. They're going to look at your debts. They're going to look at everything that you have. But it's easy if you already have your bank statements pulled up. You already have your W-2s pulled up. Scan them, and then boom, you can just shoot that email over, and then it's stress-free. The stress comes from having everything everywhere, and you don't know where to get it. And you're just like, oh, why are they asking me for this? I'm telling you now, they are going to ask you for that. They're going to ask you for everything. So you need to get you a big brown folder or envelope and just start putting those documents into your file. That way, when it's time to present them, you already have them. And lenders love organized buyers. They love, love, love. So when they request something, they don't have to wait around on you for 2 days to get it back, because real estate transactions are very time sensitive. We don't have all day for you to figure out, and you got to go to your cousin's house and your mama's house to find your social security card. No, you got to already have your stuff together, because it moves like this. Everybody has something to do quickly to get you from beginning to the end of the process. And we don't need you to slow down the train. So we need you to be organized and prepared even before you apply for the loan. Okay? I think you hear my heart on that one, right? Be organized. Number 15, avoid making major job changes. Okay, now I know that sounds self-explanatory, but friend, it is not. If you have gotten pre-approved with a particular job, and then you decide to change your mind and you don't want that job, or you get another job, try not to change jobs in the middle of the approval process. It is very difficult to get you re-approved, because the lender is going to check again to see if you still have that job. So if you said that you worked at Verizon and you got pre-approved working at Verizon, but now you have changed jobs and you work at the hospital, then that's a red flag. So try not to make any major changes. I've had clients before that had to, make a move. Now it's different if you get a promotion. So let me back up. Let's say you work at Verizon and you are a sales leader, but then you get promoted and now you work for T-Mobile as a manager. Then you're still in the telecommunications industry, but you just got a different job that's paying you more money. Well, the lender is not going to penalize you for that. They are going to still need your most recent pay stubs, but you can step up and make more money. But if you just decide that you're going to change jobs just because, I want to just do something completely different, then you can hinder your pre-approval chances at that point. I had a client once before we were having a home built for him, and he decided, he quit a job and decided that he was going to get another job in time enough before the home closed. Well, luckily he did, but he thought nobody would know. You can't do that, because the lender will always know. And that's another tip. Always communicate any life changes that may happen while you're being in the pre-approval process. While you're in the pre-approval process, your lender is your friend. Don't try to hide it from them. Just go ahead and be honest and tell them. If you got laid off, tell them. If you lost your job, quit your job, got fired, you need to tell them, because you cannot buy a home if you don't have the same income that you qualify for. And there is no way that they will not know that, because they will do a income verification, employment verification before you close. So honesty is always the best policy when you're buying a home. Always be honest with your realtor and be honest with your loan officer. Okay. Number 16, don't waive the appraisal contingency. So the appraisal is done to give you the true value of the home. Again, don't get out here and get so attached to a home and that you accept whatever price that the seller is willing to sell it just because you can afford it. You still need to have an appraisal done, because you don't want to overpay for the home. You don't want to be that emotionally attached that you say, well, I don't even have to worry about the appraisal. I just want the house. I want this house, and whatever it takes to get it, I'm willing to do it. Don't do that, because you are getting the short end of the stick. What if that home appraises for $30,000 less than what you're willing to pay for it? You don't want to get yourself in that type of situation. So don't waive your appraisal. Number 17, Hold off on major purchases like a car. We talked about that, okay? Like buying furniture. Don't go out. I've seen this so many times too, that a buyer will go out and just soon as they get pre-approved, they start shopping around and they go get a house full of furniture and get, brand new fancy refrigerator. And then once the lender comes back to look at their credit, their debt to income ratio one last time before closing, they discover that you've charged up $5,700 worth of furniture and appliances. And now you can no longer buy the house because you didn't have that cushion there. So don't buy anything unless you're paying cash. Okay? No major purchases on any credit cards unless you are going to pay cash for those items. Wait until after you get those keys in your hands. Okay? Once you get your keys in your hands, you can go and buy whatever, friend. You can go buy whatever you want to buy. Number 18, practice living within your future housing budget. We kind of talked about this one, but it's slightly different. If you know that you're going to go from paying $1,500 a month for your apartment to paying $2,200 for your mortgage per month, then start putting back $2,200 to see how that feels. You want to know what it feels like to pay an additional $700 per month for your living arrangements, for your living expenses. So if you can start putting that extra back as if you're making the future mortgage payment, then that will give you a sense of comfort once you actually get the mortgage and you start making your first, second, third, fourth, fifth payment. You won't be shocked by that additional $700 increase that you just stepped into. Okay. Number 19, reduce high interest debt. Sometimes we need to pay down debt before we purchase a home. Many of you, I know you're saving, you have savings, you're saving for your down payment, but then you may have, $10,000 worth of debt over here. Well, what's better? Is it better to pay off the debt and then maybe qualify for a down payment assistance program, or just keep the money in the bank for your down payment and then just still have all this high debt? If it were me, I would take the money in my savings and I would pay off those high interest credit cards. That way I'm not going into my new mortgage, which is probably going to be more than I'm paying in rent. I'm not going into a new mortgage situation still carrying that same amount of debt. Okay. So that's what I would do. Of course, you have to do what's best for you, but do your best to pay down high interest credit cards because that is eating into your monthly household budget and you're getting ready to add a significantly higher, possibly higher monthly mortgage payment than you are paying right now for your rent. So you just want to reduce those expenses as much as you can. Number 20, you got to stay on top of filing your taxes, friend. I don't know how many times I've had clients say that they didn't file their taxes for 2021. Or, oh, Miss Trinette, I forgot. In 2019, I don't know what happened. It just slipped my mind. I didn't file my taxes. Listen, they are going to ask for your last 2 years of tax returns. You cannot buy a house without having filing your taxes. Okay. So make sure you get that done, because if you don't, the lender is going to ask you to go back and pay for them anyway. So file them anyway. So you might as well do it now. And if you don't have a problem with that and you file your taxes every year, then I'm not talking to you. But there are some people listening to this video that you likely have not filed some taxes. So friend, file your taxes. Okay. Number 21, avoid opening new credit lines or loans. Okay. Don't go out and get a new car. Don't go and apply for new credit cards. Don't co-sign on a loan for somebody else. I've seen this time and time again, especially you parents who have children who need a car or who need whatever, and you've always promised that you would do that. If you're getting ready to buy a home, do not co-sign on anything for anyone at this time. I don't believe in co-signing, period, because it's just biblical. However, I can't tell you what to do. I'm just telling you, don't do it if you don't have to, and especially don't do it in the middle of buying a home. Number 22, get an estimate of the monthly cost with different loan amounts. Okay, so let's say you've been pre-approved for $250,000. Ask the lender how much that payment is. We've already discussed this. But if that feels a little uncomfortable for you, then ask the loan officer to give you 3 payment amounts. Sir, ma'am, please give me the monthly payment amount for $200,000, then $225,000, then finally $250,000. You can look at all three of these tiers and you can see which one of those are the most comfortable for you. You may need to drop down to $200,000, or you may fall in love with the house that only costs $200,000 versus $250,000. But you want to know a tier of different levels if you're conscientious about how much your monthly mortgage is going to cost you. Okay, so don't be afraid to ask. And those $25,000 increments between $200,000 to $225,000 to $250,000, they can make a big difference. $25,000 can make a big difference in the neighborhoods that you go from tier to tier to tier. It can make a big difference in the quality of the home that you are able to buy if you step up a little bit. And then just keeping in mind that extra $25,000, it seems like a lot, but $25,000 more divided into 360 months, which is 30 years, you're looking at about $70 more per month on the payment. So if it's worth it to you to step it up for $70 more, then at least you have that information on the front hand from your loan officer and you'll know exactly where you need to land. Okay. Number 23, check for any liens or judgments against you. You cannot get approved if you have outstanding liens or judgments against you. You need to get those taken care of. Now, you can get approved with a tax lien. However, you need to have a payment arrangements with the IRS, and you need to have made at least 3 consecutive payments to the IRS for the banks to work with a tax lien. All other liens, all other judgments, they must be cleared and taken care of before you're able to close on the home. Okay, number 24, know that lenders may verify your income multiple times, your employment income multiple times. So that means don't get out here and think that they're not going to check. They're going to check your employment several times. For sure, they're going to check it once you submit the application, and then they're going to send a verification of employment to your employer for them to fill out on their end to verify that you do still work there and that your income is what you say it is. And there's no reason to be intimidated by that because you've already showed them pay stubs, so they know what you make. They just need to verify it to ensure that you're still working there at that time right before closing. Okay. I think we're on number 25. So 25 is know that the perfect home may not exist. Okay. There is a perfect home for you, but there's rarely a perfect home. Every home has something, some quirks, some flaws, something. But that doesn't mean that there's not a perfect home for you. So just do your due diligence, shop around, know what you're looking for, and then keep an open mind knowing that nothing is perfect in the real estate world. You don't have a perfect home, but there is a perfect home for you. Okay. Number 26, set a clear maximum budget and then stick to it. I know that these are starting to sound redundant, but these are still different. If you tell me, Trinette, I am not comfortable paying over $1,800 per month on my monthly mortgage, it is my job to help you stick to that, because you can get out here and get emotional and you look at houses that may be $2,000 a month or $2,100 a month, $200 or $300 more. You may say in theory that's, well, I mean, I might can swing an extra $200 if I cut back here and if I cut back there. Listen, if you tell me $1,800, then we are sticking to $1,800 unless you go back to the lender and you reassess and you discover that you really can go higher. I don't want anybody to be stressed or strained with their new blessing of home ownership. If you say $1,800 is your max, then only you know if that's really true. If it's $1,800, then we're sticking to $1,800. Don't ask me to show you a house for $275,000 or $300,000 when you know, and I know, that's going to exceed that $1,800. Stick to your budget. God will bless you, but he'll bless you on your level. So make sure you don't get outside of that trying to do more than what you really can do. And then you get out here and you lose your shirt. Okay. We don't want you to lose your shirt, AKA get into foreclosure. Okay. Number 27, focus on homes within your approval amount. Same thing. I'm not going to show you homes that exceed what the lender has said you're pre-approved for. I'm not going to show you a $300,000 house. So don't even send it to me. Don't even ask. Friend, don't do that to your realtor. Don't put them in that kind of spot. And then don't do it to the seller. Don't go and make showing appointments for homes that you know that you can't buy. You get the seller's hopes up because they feel like they have a qualified buyer walking through their home and that you have an opportunity to buy it. So they're excited. And then all the while you're already knowing that you're not going to make an offer on it because you haven't even been pre-approved for that amount. So don't do it. Stay within your budget. Stay within your budget. 28, keep your job until you close. Do not quit. I had a client who was so stressed out of her job. Trinette, I just can't stay. They bother me so bad. I feel unsafe. I feel harmed. I just can't do it. And she was only like a couple of weeks away from closing. And she quit the job. She quit the job. And there are times when your mental health is compromised and you have no choice. And so you have to quit the job. But listen, if you don't have to, then don't, okay? Just keep your job until after you close and you're free to go and apply and you can go anywhere you want to go at that point, okay? So just try to hang on to your job until after you close. And then I think we're on number 30. So forgive me if we kind of like out of order, but this is really, I think 30 or 29. But know that your credit will be pulled again before closing. This is very important. A lot of buyers think that they're in the clear because they've been pre-approved. But know this, they will check your credit again. So if you had a collections to hit your account, or if you forgot about a payment and it was late and missed and it hit your account, guess what? Your score is going to drop. And guess what? That lender is going to see it. So be diligent. Make sure you're on top of everything. You're making every payment on time because the lender is going to check one final time your credit to make sure that everything is still good. They don't want these loans coming back on them. They don't want to get backlash from their bank or their mortgage company saying, listen, you lend to this person and this person and this person, and they foreclosed on and we're getting these mortgages back. They are not in the business of taking homes back. They lend and they want to make money off of the interest. That means they want you to keep them. So they don't want to lend to people who are not qualified. So make sure that you keep everything intact and check and know that they are going to check your credit again before you close on the house. There's no way around that, okay? And just also know they're going to be all in your business, friend. They're going to look at everything. And it's not racial. It's not prejudice. It is just business, okay? They do it to everyone. No one is exempt from the scrutiny of the loan officer and the underwriter. But once you get everything past the underwriter, you become a homeowner. And so that wraps up the 30 must-know tips for buying a home in 2025. We are excited that we're going to have homeowners come through in 2025. I know that you can do this. You've waited a long time. Now is your time. Don't let fear cause you to shrink back. Listen, you've been renting, so let's try something different. Let's see what owning feels like. And I appreciate you. If you found this video helpful in any way, when I find a video that's helpful on YouTube, I hit like because I want to save it in my liked videos. I want to come back to it for future reference. And I'll go ahead and subscribe because if it's helping me meet my goals and get to where I want to be and what I want to achieve, then hey, why not subscribe? Because that person is feeding me and I want to be able to come back and not miss anything else that they may have prepared to share with me. So please, if you like this video, if it meant something to you, hit like, thumbs up, and then go ahead and subscribe. I'm happy to teach you continuously on this channel. I thank you guys. Looking forward to you buying a home in the next 12 months or less, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.